This is the future.
I have mixed emotions about the new augments of the broken Warframe. I totally get why Digital Extremes released augments, as they want some Warframe abilities to be effective in real missions, or some just need a big boost so they won't be considered as trash. Long story short, they are band-aid mods to somehow make almost useless abilities good, but there are also instances that great abilities become super great with augments, and some have needed quality of life improvements that make them meta. After a couple of days testing the new augments for the broken Warframe, both the Relentless Lost and Vampiric Grasp, I find both augments good and bad. It doesn't make sense, right? So, let me tell you about both augments and why you should use them or not. First, let's discuss about the Relentless Lost. This is a Warframe augment mod for the broken Warframes the Lost that increases ability strength for the ability, stacking up to 3 times but resets on casting the same sub-ability twice. This mod can be acquired by attaining the rank of General under the Steel Meridian, or the rank of Genius under Cephalon Suda, and spending 25,000 to purchase. There are a few things to take note about this mod. First, one is that strength bonus is not affected by mods. Also, casting the Lost with this augment equipped will automatically cycle to the next sub-ability. In addition, releasing a gazed target will neither contribute nor cancel out the ability strength bonus, and will not automatically cycle to deny. To achieve the full potential of this augment you need to cast the ability 3 times, which already costs 225 energy, and then you still need to cast it one more time to use the max stacks. So effectively you spend 300 energy to use this power at plus 105% strength. I know some of you will say that Blind Rage is more worth it since it already provides plus 99% strength to all abilities with an extra cost of 55% energy, and you don't need to weirdly cycle through the Lost, but hear me out. 225 energy is the starting cost of this mod, but technically afterwards you only need to pay 150 for any future casts, which is much more comparable to Blind Rage's 116 cost, and that's assuming you don't care about the second ability. This also scales much better with efficiency than Blind Rage, if you for some reason decide to use it. 105 for Relentless versus Blind Rage's 93.5 when combined with Streamline. The initial cost does take it to launch shorter missions, but vast runtime already rewards XAKU for playing longer mission types anyways. On a similar note, while the Relentless Lost doesn't increase the power strength of other XAKU's abilities, it doesn't increase their cost either. If you happen to be using XAKU in a slower mission and or endurance run anyways, you'll probably only cast any of the Lost One's abilities a couple times in total. But in other missions, well, I can't argue that Blind Rage would be better, and you just need to rely on energy restoring stuff like Arcane Energize. It's really a 50-50 for me, since the augment does removes the huge energy drain from Blind Rage, but it adds extra micromanagement on the broken Warframe's ability. It's true that building low power strength still lets you strip armor completely when this has full effect, but the problem is, the broken Warframe is such a mess of micromanaging abilities already, and now you have to do some big brain thinking if you want to use ability X, then you gotta have the one before it selected. And this is taking place while you are busy trying to not die from a corrupted bombard. With this in mind, I will leave the final decision to you whether you want to use the augment for lessening the energy consumption of your build, or not, if you value survivability and peace of mind. Speaking of survivability, the broken Warframe's second new augment hopes to improve the survivability of XAKU by providing a health restore mechanic to the Warframe. Vampiric Grasp is a Warframe augment mod for Grasp of Lock that heals them when a stolen weapon deals damage to an enemy affected by gaze or the vast untime. This mod can be acquired by attaining the rank of General under the Steel Meridian, or the rank of Genius under Cephalon Suda, and spending 25,000 to purchase. The ability is very simple. It heals a portion of your health when a stolen weapon deals damage on enemies that are affected by either gaze or the vast untime, and the amount it heals the broken Warframe can scale with power strength mods. I know some of you are kind of hesitant about this augment, as it seems like it doesn't fit the broken Warframe's kit. First of all, while it's not that big of a deal, the fire rate of the void weapon matters on how fast you can heal your health, especially against multiple enemies hoarding you. although the number of void weapons present would fix this problem, but still, some may think that the fire rate is enough to keep healing you in dangerous situations. The biggest problem with this though is that XAKU's health values is shit. Even if you put all the Umbral mods, and then slap Arcane Guardian, Adaptation, and force the Broken Warframe to be a tank, still, they are not capable of good damage mitigation since they are not built that way. Most of their kit in terms of survivability relies on evasion, and you might think that having the ability to heal coupled with evasion will be a great survivability tool. Well, that is where you are wrong. If we want the Broken Warframe to be a tank, then it would require adding multiple survivability mods like I have said earlier, lowering the effectiveness of their other abilities. Take note that almost all of their abilities, except for Xatu's Whisper, requires high range and some power strength to be great. It's still useless if we sacrifice these mods over a tank and heal build, since we will not gain the full potential of the augment without the high range build. At first glance, even I can say that Vampiric Grasp feels out of place and a bad survivability toolkit for the Broken Warframe in my opinion. Health regeneration is kind of weird for a Warframe which has low health stats and damage mitigation. And for those who are using the Broken Warframe for long endurance runs, then you know how hard it is to rely on health alone. Using Xanuric's Void Singularity to pull enemies inside the gaze radius and kill them with your Grasp of Lock is still the best strategy for killing enemies and surviving heavy, especially from those one-shot expert enemies like the Bombard at higher level missions. If I can suggest something about Vampiric Grasp, then I would advise Digital Extremes to change the health recovery mechanic to shields and over shields. Every hit will restore your shields and you will gain over shields. This is more suited for the Broken Warframe since you can take advantage of the shield gating mechanic. Shield gating and evasion would be better survivability compared to pushing a tank build, which doesn't make any sense for the Broken Warframe, right? Well, just like I always say in this channel, nothing is impossible with the right build and setup. You really don't need to go with full survivability setup for XAKU to make Vampiric Grasp a good survivability tool. All you need is a couple of Umbral mods, the Adaptation mod, and either Panzerwolfapilla or Slyvolfapilla to make XAKU a walking skeleton while their Grasp of Lock is active. You see, I think Digital Extremes are fixing the way that XAKU can only be used with their kit. By adding something that can heal the Broken Warframe, it creates another portion of survivability aside from the evasion from their abilities and outside sources like the Slyvolfapilla's exclusive mod. The setup is great in Steel Path levels, and all you need to do is walk around the room and ensure that enemies are hit with those stolen void weapons while they are affected by the vast untime or they are at the radius of gaze. It's ideal in Steel Path survival missions, but I don't know if it will last against level cap enemies, as one shot from a bombard will remove the shield gating mechanic, and then anything that goes through after that will one-shot your Broken Warframe. Also, while dealing with acolytes that can nullify your abilities, you should use the Magus anomaly to lock down these types of acolytes. As you can see here, I am having a hard time with violence. Long story short, I can conclude that the Relentless Lost Augment is a good quality of life for those players who would like to lessen the energy drain of their build, but bear in mind that you will have additional micromanagement on the abilities of the Broken Warframe. I think you are better off with Blind Rage, since Vast Untime can pause the duration of all your abilities except for subsume abilities, giving you enough time to regenerate energy and cast Vast Untime again. And for the Vampiric Grasp Augment, it's a fun augment to use, especially if you want to be a walking skeleton with void guns killing enemies. Now, I would like to know your opinions about these two new augments. Let us discuss in the comment section below, and I will see you on my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.
This is the future.